Love and health form the foundation and pillars that support all that you do to create fulfillment and success in every aspect of your life. Love within us guides our paths while our health enables us to drive forward. The two are inseparable and vital for growth and reaching your fullest potential. Welcome to Love and Health in America with Dr. Doohi Lee and Jens Johnson. Dr. Lee is an international speaker, author, inventor of the Diamond Matrix, and medical director of Advanced Surgical Arts.
The way I see my role is that I'm a guide.
Jens Johnson, the mindset master, is a best-selling author, speaker, and executive managing director of Dallas E-Women Network. Please join them and explore all the facets of love and health to achieve and live your abundant life. Here are your hosts, Dr. Doohi Lee and Jens Johnson.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Love and Health in America. Now, hopefully you can see me because right now I am looking at our very special guest, the one
with a very surprised look.
I know. I'm like, we're here live with Shelley Luther, and we are so excited to have you here. And we're also looking at Shelley Luther on our monitor, which you look amazing. And we're going to talk about everything that you've got going on. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said, "What is this show going to be about?" And I said, "Shelley Luther." She said, "Shelley Luther, I love Shelley Luther." So you've got to be living under a rock if you don't know who you are. But we are so thrilled to have you on the show.
Thank you.
But we're I think more excited to have you as a spokesperson and to really have you stand up, because that's what you've done in the past. That's what you've exhibited, and we're beyond excited for the future with you in it.
Thank you.
So, one of the things that Dr. Lee and I talk about here on the show is Love and Health in America. And the title of our show today is How Your Love for Country Can Change Your Course.
Exactly.
And believe me, your love, your love for the country has completely changed your course. And we want to get into that with you. Where did your love for our country begin?
Well, my dad was in the Marines for 26 years. And so I also taught school for 13 years. So we did the Pledge of Allegiance and those things in school. It frustrated me when kids didn't want to be respectful to the flag and things like that. But when I see, people burning the flag these days and just being downright disrespectful to everything that represents America, it makes me angry.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things where you don't even recognize the country. You can't, when you sit and you hear people say, "I hate America," you think, "Oh my gosh, listen, we're not perfect, right? We're not perfect, but this is such an amazing country in the opportunities that we have." And so, when you talk about your really the passion of why you've decided to change your course, here you are. You were, you've got a salon. You've got your salon, but you've made a decision to change your course in a way you probably weren't thinking that you were going to do when 2020 started. And you're running for Texas State Senate.
Right.
So tell us, how did that come about?
I didn't really make any decisions until just recently for the Senate. When I opened the salon and all of those things were happening and going to jail, that was like an hour by hour kind of decision-making process, and definitely felt like I was being led by God, because otherwise I would not have been able to get through that. That was a pretty crazy, scary experience. But when things started, going a little further, I was very active. I'm helping a lot of people. We got a bunch of money when all of that stuff happened, and we're giving away a bunch of money and making people happy and seeing some positivity again. I just thought, you know what? I'm being a politician without the title. I might as well get the title to where I can actually really do some good. And a lot of people asked me, you should do this. We need someone like you.
Well, one of the things that I think is so vitally important, and Dr. Lee and I have talked a lot about this, is prior to COVID, I didn't realize how important your local government positions were. I didn't realize that. And now, if you love our country and you have a passion for our Constitution, if you don't stand up and have that courage to do the right things, there are other people that are going to stand up, and they're going to do whatever it is they feel is right. And so, one of the things I think that is so admirable about what you're doing is what you just said, that you literally you're just being led, and you're saying yes. But what are some of the things that, the injustices, the things that you've said, this isn't right, and I'm going to do something about it more than just talk about it?
Basically, it's the government not helping me or my stylists. We're not getting any SBA loans. The unemployment was just ridiculous. That's an entire mess. And my mortgage is behind, and the salon lease is due, and they won't help, but they are also need to pay their money to so-and-so or whatever. So it's cyclical. But when I tell the government I can't feed my kids, but the government is still taking their paycheck without missing it, a big paycheck, and are looking at me saying, it's too bad. That's wrong. That's wrong, because first of all, they work for me, and I might not have any money right now, but I know I paid you taxes.
Right.
And so, yeah, they work for us, and I think the government is kind of flipped right now, thinking in the other way around, and they're kind of high and mighty on us a little bit.
Well, one of the things that I don't think people understand is the Constitution is not to keep us healthy. It's
safe.
Right. It's our responsibility, and Dr. Lee's going to jump in here. It's our responsibility to keep ourselves healthy. The Constitution and the government is supposed to safeguard our rights.
Protect our rights. That's the only reason the government was formed.
And so, you talk about, and believe me, I've followed this whole thing. You don't know this, but I was one of those people that we had that march in front of City Hall when all that Tuesday that you went in and all this stuff. And believe me, I didn't know who you were, but I loved what you were doing.
Thank you.
And and I just said, here's somebody who is standing up and saying, we're not going to take this. And the government, they're really doing things that they don't even legally have the power to do, but people aren't fighting back because they don't have that passion within them to do that. So, one of the things Dr. Lee and I were talking about is, not only do you have a love for the country, but you have a deep love for the people that are responsible for you as a business owner. And not everybody has that.
Well, I've always been a helper. Being a teacher, being a mother, I've always had that kind of I need to help people type of gene. But I felt like a mom when my hairstylist, they're calling me, and I always feel responsible for them. And they're like, what do we do? And I didn't know what to do. And it's a scary feeling.
Right.
And when you get backed into a corner, I think you will do things you didn't think you would do.
Oh yeah, it definitely, especially if you're a mom. I mean, if you're a mom, you're a mama bear.
Right.
Don't mess with one of the baby bears.
Right.
Don't mess with the cubs.
But anyway, taking a little bit about what Jens was talking about, in terms of a lot of people feeling frustrated and cornered and really helpless.
Yes.
And then I think, myself included, when we saw you going through your trials, defying the court order and everything, and finally even talking to the judge about, I'm going to stand up for myself, put me in jail. And actually literally walking in proudly saying, I'm standing up. That was huge.
He was shocked.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I think we all were. You watched that. It's like, oh,
We
my
were.
God.
Yeah.
And
Everybody
then,
tried to talk me out. My attorney, my dad called during the recess, like everything. They're like, you don't have to. I'm like, I need you guys to stop telling me. I have to do this.
It's funny.
I have
if I
to.
were in your position, I would have done the same thing.
Yes.
And I was talking to my wife who was married, and she would say, yeah, Definitely. There's no way I was going to back down for something like that. But I mean, I think at that instant you became the folk hero that you are. I really truly believe you're a national folk hero, not just Texas. And I know you have a lot of exposure with Fox and all those kind of things, which I think is well deserved. But you really became a catalyst, and I think an impetus for a lot of other people to say, yeah, if she can do it, I can find the courage to do the same thing. It's huge, huge movement.
I'm so glad that helped people, but it definitely wasn't the reason why I did it.
Of course not. No, of course not. Yeah.
It feels weird when people kind of call me a hero because it's, there's, like, my dad fought in the Vietnam War.
Right.
There's people that have lost their limbs, their life, and I feel like those guys and gals are the heroes. And for me, I just want to capture back what they did for us.
Right, exactly. So, we gotta talk about the election. We've got to talk about District 30. And we've got a commercial. You've got a phenomenal commercial, and Chris is going to show the commercial. And then we're going to talk more about the election and how people can learn more about you and really fight for what you're doing as well. So, Chris?
Yeah, let's run the commercial.
I opened my small business so moms could feed their kids. They threw me in jail.
Named Shelley Luther. She was given a 7-day jail sentence.
But I fought back, and they backed down. I'm Shelley Luther. I'm pro-Trump, pro-law enforcement, and I believe every job is essential. I'm running for Texas Senate because now it's time for us to shake things up.
Okay, so one of the things I know, and we're gonna make sure that we play it again so you hear all of it, because at the very beginning is what I think is so important, is how when people are doing the wrong things, you're getting all this great attention, and when people are doing the right things, they're throwing people in jail, but which is a whole other conversation, right? But one of the most important things I think we need to talk about is District 30. And Chris, I'd love it if you showed that graphic, because listen, people don't know what district you're in. You do not know what district that you're in. Yeah. So Chris, we've got a graphic that shows the district. Right now we see Shelley on there, but we're going to talk about your election being September 29th. And we're going to talk about...
early voting starts next week,
The
right?
14th. Early voting.
That's
so
Sunday. Sunday.
I think it's Monday.
Is it Monday?
Yes, Monday.
Monday, okay.
Yes. So yes, we literally got, I think, 35 days to campaign, like my whole
amazing.
campaign.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we can do to get the vote out, to get people to go vote starting September 14th, and as well as on September 29th. What do we need to do?
Well, I think social media is my biggest presence that I had, kind of before I even started running. The issue is it's across the nation and even the world, so we need to really concentrate and focus on Senate District 30. And if you don't know, if you live in Senate District 30, for people that are local, it's above 380, like above Frisco, all the way to Oklahoma, to Greenville, Wiley, a little piece of Dallas, all the way to Stephenville.
Wow.
These are some of the counties there. It's a part of Collin and part of Denton, not the whole thing, but usually the north parts. It's 1 million people.
Right.
So in 35 days, it's impossible for us to try to get to every single county. It's impossible, but we're doing our best to try to do that, because the people of District 30 deserve that.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Great.
And I'm going to turn you over to Dr. Lee here for a lot, but let me tell you what I'm doing, because I am a Shelley Luther fan, and I love everything that you represent. And you're inspiring me. I mean, we've got to get more people like Shelley, and then of course you're looking at yourself, right? But what I did was I went on my social media with that graphic, and I said, who lives in these counties? Because people don't know what district they
No,
they
I didn't
don't know
before all of this. I
they
had no
don't
idea.
know. It's so I said, who do I know that lives in Archer, in Clay, in Cook, in Grayson? And I just went through, and people started responding to me. And then I got your commercial, and we are going to put her commercial in the comments section. And so I got your commercial and I sent it. And I said, you've got to make sure that you go out and vote. You've got to vote September 14th through the 29th, because that's what we've got to do. It's got to be grassroots, but it's got to be even more so because, like you said, because of the time. And
also, the other thing is, this live that we're doing now, not everybody can watch it, obviously, because it's the middle of the day, but for those of you who are watching, it's being recorded. If they can take this and send it to people who are in that area, then it can get played.
They can kind of get to know me a little bit more, because it's not, me talking on a commercial, and this is just the real me, who I am, and this definitely does help.
Yeah.
But what you said about grassroots, that's really important too, because my candidacy is very grassroots, very, very conservative, and we're kind of going against the establishment opponent. And Governor Abbott has his guy that he wants in there, and we're doing everything we can to not let that happen.
Yeah, and we're here to support you. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go back to a little bit about the other half that we talk about, love and health. We spent some time talking about love aspect.
Yes.
So obviously I'm a doctor, so the health is a very important part of my life and what I do. So we kind of touched on this a little bit. So how do you feel about how the coronavirus was handled from an administrative point of view towards, or even, I had to say against, but towards people's health, the things that were done maybe correctly or incorrectly, and how do you think you might be changing that once you get into the office?
Well, hindsight's always 20/20.
Sure.
So, I mean, if we looked back, we would probably say, let's every single person in the whole United States shut down for 2 weeks, and then whatever. But honestly, legally, it's not. You can't shut down anything. The government is not allowed to shut down anything ever.
Exactly.
So what I would do is say, these are the conditions that we're finding that people get really sick. If you're over this certain age, I would stay in. And if you have these general underlying conditions, you stay in. But otherwise, we can't really tell you what to do. Right. So you guys are adults. You're Texans. You're strong-minded. You're smart. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really what all they were allowed to do.
Yeah, in terms of also the health, I mean, there are many different types of health. Obviously, there's physical health, which I deal with mostly, and then there's the other aspect, which is financial health, which is associated with the business. And we all are affected, I think in all aspects. I mean, there's so many stories of the side effects or the effects of the lockdowns and things like that, including suicides. And we're going to be touching on all these kind of things in the future shows, the devastating effects far away actually from the virus itself. But one of the things that actually really got you into the whole situation was the effect on your financial health from the business side, and how that directly and indirectly affected the health of your employees.
Yes.
So if you could expound on that a little bit, I think people will get some ideas of some of your motivations.
Well, the week before we decided to open the business, my daughter, who was working at a fast food restaurant, was buying our groceries, and we were a month behind on our mortgage. Wow. So let's go there.
Sure.
And we had money saved up, but when you own a small business and you have kids and things like that, the money goes quickly, and you never think that you're going to be needing to, support yourself for a full month.
Yeah.
It was stressful.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of crying, a lot of stress, and me trying to hold myself together when the stylists would call or the kids would come in and we try to act like nothing's wrong. It was really scary, and man, it was hard.
Yeah, especially when you're overseeing a group of people who are depending on you, for the business and livelihood. And
a lot of
that.
pressure.
It's tremendous.
Well, and what I love is most people can so relate to that. And I think sometimes that our politicians forget, because
they're in a different world.
And the thing is we can't forget, a politician is representing their constituents. And you can't make a decision based on what's best for you. You've got to make the decision on what's best for the people that you're representing.
Right.
And you've gone through what a large percentage of the people have experienced through this.
I definitely feel like I can fill the gap in between the people and the government. It is being kind of both sides. I definitely am not a politician, and I'm happy about that. I feel like that's a quality that I have because I am closer to the people. I have experienced this whole COVID thing from the front lines. I know exactly what it feels like for the government to tell me no and have zero say in anything and be struggling with money. So absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yes.
So, I mean, we're getting close to the end. So, what other topics would you like to share with our, listeners? I know we talked about the love and the health, but I know you have several other points that you want to get across in terms of the things you stand for.
Well, as far as my platform is concerned, definitely we want more freedom and less government.
Sure.
There is that Disaster Act that Governor Abbott thinks that he's getting he's allowed to do all of these executive orders, which is unconstitutional. We all know that. So we'll start there. And then I really want to abolish abortion in Texas. I want to make that completely illegal. I want to, for our Second Amendment, which is an unalienable right already, I want to sign into constitutional carry, which if you're legally allowed to purchase a gun, you should be able to carry it wherever you want without a permit, without paying for it, and without the government being involved in it. Basically, the government needs to be involved in a lot fewer things.
Exactly. And one of the few things, I think we spoke about this earlier, is as a citizen of Texas, one of the frustrations is, I think we talked about this in some of the House meetings that we had with the other representatives, is that there seems to be a loophole that this allows us to go in and break this lock, by the governor. For some reason, nobody can get in there and say enough's enough. There's no time limit, there's nothing. So he could drag this out, perpetually, as long as he declares as an emergency, whether it's truly there or not. There has to be, I think, some sort of legislation to allow people to say, okay, enough's enough, or after 30 days, we have to come back and vote again to say it's really an emergency or not. But there has to be some way to unlock this.
There
I think
is.
that's something that's missing.
Here's how politicians react when media gets to them and someone throws a fit and the microscope is on them.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, well, she just wants to be on media, but look what it did. He let salons open 10 days earlier, plus he retracted his executive order and says, oh, wait, no one can go to jail. So we have all of these politicians, 181 of them, right, in the legislature, in Congress, and none of them was able to get the governor to change an executive order. I was. Media.
Yeah.
And if I had to go sleep on his doorstep and have the media there every single day,
Sure. Then there's a pressure.
I would do it.
Right.
and he would do something because
But there has to be a legal way besides the media coming
well,
in.
we need to make that law because this was
exactly.
something unprecedented, and we definitely will get in there and make those changes.
Yeah.
And
that'd be fantastic.
and that's what I love about you, Shelley, because you are a person of action.
Oh, yeah.
You're a person of action. So, when you're voting Shelley in, you're voting somebody that is you're going to do what you say.
Very transparent.
You're
I will do what I say.
And that's the thing is, as a person that, like you said, I don't want the government controlling my life. And there has to be a way for other politicians that are not the governors of these states to be able to go in and say enough is enough. And Governor Abbott just extended the 1970 or 1975 disaster act
Crazy.
for
This
another
isn't even
30
a disaster.
days.
It's not a disaster.
Not even close.
And here's the thing, and we all know this. This isn't going to be the only coronavirus scare attempt, whatever it is.
Next election.
Right. So we have to. It is imperative that we have politicians such as yourself, such as other people that are watching, that are going to say, look, the local governments, the local school boards, the city council, the state senate, these representatives, you're going to be the ones that are going to go in and say, we need to change the laws. And this is something that I think is so important as well, is what you're going to be doing isn't going to just benefit District 30.
Right.
The entire state.
Yes.
It's going to benefit the entire state. That's why it is so crucial for us, even if we're not in District 30,
Exactly.
to
Spread the word.
Yeah.
to spread the word and find the people that we know that are in District 30 to get the vote out. Because number one, it's on September 29th instead of the normal November 3rd. Number two, there's 6 candidates. And if one doesn't get over 50%, there's not an official winner. correct?
Right, and then the top two have a runoff. The problem is there's one Democrat, so the Democrat's going to pull a lot of votes. So if I don't get the top Republican pull, then it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can't do anything if I don't get voted in, and I can't help you if my hands are tied.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. I know. Now, okay, here's one of our questions. You were raised in Texas, right?
Well, my dad was a Marine, so we
Okay.
moved around
Okay.
a lot. But I moved here in 1993, so I've been here longer than I have been any other place.
Okay, so one of the things, because are you a native Texan?
No, I've been here since 2000.
I'm the only native Texas in the group. Oh my God.
Okay, well, that tells a lot.
Okay, so you know how in Texas everything's bigger and better.
Yes.
What is it that you love about the state of Texas?
Well, not just that everything's bigger and better. I love the hospitality, especially in the rural areas. I love waving at cars when we drive by on a two-way street. I love that men and women still hold the door for you. The kids say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and you don't feel you feel safe. You could leave your door unlocked in some places, and I really want to hold on to that. There's not many places like that.
So true.
And District 30 has a lot of places like that, and it's really important in these rural areas that they are the backbone of Texas, and we need to keep those like that.
We do, and I'm just going to echo everything that you said, Shelley, and I think we need to have that. I think that needs to be our focus for the entire state.
Yes.
Because, first you always have to secure your oxygen mask on yourself, as a doctor.
Before you help somebody else, yes.
And so you gotta secure yourself, and then you've got to go to your family, and then you've got to go to your community,
Right.
and then our state, and we can no longer just wait for someone else to do it.
Right.
So you can't wait for somebody else to help Shelley Luther get elected.
No,
You've
you
got
have
to
to go out
take
there.
the
You have to
Wake
go out
up.
there
We
yourself.
need to stand
Yeah.
up and
You have to
move
own-
right
you have
now.
to own
It has
your
to
own
happen.
state.
we have
Yeah,
to.
each one of us has to own our state.
And
That's what it comes down to.
and then we've got to find other people that are like you, Shelley. I mean, we
That's
just
what
have
I'm
to.
hoping. By doing this, I hope that other people say, okay, she's kind of a regular person that got it. I think I can do that too. Right. And we can cause
Exactly.
kind of a landslide. That would be amazing, because the government was meant to have normal people in it, not just
Exactly.
attorneys and billionaires and all of this stuff. That's why we're so, far away from the government, disconnected. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think are some of the biggest differences between you and some of the other people that are running against you?
Well, two of them are politicians that have, been in 8 years, and the other one maybe 10 years or something. And I feel like you need to take a break after that long period of time. You're too disconnected, like we talked about. The other ones are not really well known yet, and it's hard for them because of the name recognition. They only get 30 days. But they seem like nice guys. I just don't really know them that well, and I don't know the Democrat, but it's a Republican district, so a Republican will win this. So even people that are Democrat, if you want someone good in there, I would be better than choosing the other.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing I think that is a huge difference for you, is because you are a quote unquote normal person that experiences normal problems. Although you're representing as a Republican because the foundation of your platform and your beliefs and your values are that way, you are, I see, a very crossover type of person, because Democrats that do want to have somebody that goes in and fights for their rights as a citizen, that's what you're going to do.
Well, if they lead their life with God, they want their gun rights. We don't see color. It has nothing to do with that. We see what are your morals, what are your characteristics, and that's what leads the conservative platform.
Right, definitely. And I've got to say, listen, the one point that you've said a couple times, and Dr. Leah said, is the fact that you've got people that go in for so many years and they are completely disconnected with reality.
Yeah.
They're disconnected, and that's one aspect of who you are and what you're going to bring into that seat that is going to, again, not just help District 30, but is going to impact in a huge positive way the whole entire state of Texas.
That's what President Trump did too. What's
Yeah.
great about him not being a politician is he doesn't care about people throwing money at him. He doesn't care what people think of him. He's not there to make friends, and I feel the same. I'm just there to get business done, make things happen in the right way, and just get it done.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Any other questions you have,
Yeah.
Dr. Lee?
No, we talked about a lot of different things. I think a lot of things got answered, but I think we're probably starting to wrap up a
Right,
little
right.
bit. So, any last-minute statement or kind of message you want to give to the audience before we wrap up?
Well, anyone that wants to know more about my platform, they can go to shelleyluther.org, and they will find all of my platform. They can see my commercial, and they can see ways if they want to volunteer or donate. That would be amazing. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sure you get wonderful support.
You know, and you
Yeah,
know what?
sure.
What popped into my head?
Yeah.
I think somebody needs to just follow you around.
Listen, it's
every
a crazy day. No,
I'm
it's
sure.
crazy. I'll tell you.
Shelley, every day
exactly.
we need lives on social media. We need to know what's going on because you're somebody that people need to follow, and we
you.
just cannot thank you enough for everything that you've done. Let me tell you, I cried when they put you in jail. I cried
Oh,
when
that
you
was
came
amazing.
out of
Just-
jail. I cried.
That's
I was
funny
like,
because I didn't.
I was like, this is not right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this is not right. You're standing up for what is right, and what the government was doing wasn't right. The way you were treated wasn't right. But like you said, it wasn't about you. It's you were just the representative of how
People
everybody
needed to
was
see
being
that,
treated.
and it's crazy that it was live streamed. That I mean, because it never usually would have been. There, all of these circumstances where God came into play.
Yes.
Like look, America. This is the way the judicial system is working right now.
Exactly.
No one knew.
Yeah.
We didn't.
so-
We didn't know. So
No.
we just thank you so much from the bottom of
Yeah.
our hearts.
Yes.
For
Love and
coming
health.
on the show and for doing what it is that you're doing and for representing our state, because we know you're gonna win, and we're gonna make sure that she does.
Yes.
And we're gonna be following you along your journey, and and anything that we can do to help you along the way, because we know you're gonna be helping the state. We are 100% all for it.
I'm so thankful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank
Of course.
you
Anytime.
so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And
So,
until
Next
we
time.
meet again,
Yes.
until next time, share your love.
And live healthy. See you next time.